Hey guys, welcome on into the next NHL offseason preview show. And today I'm going to be talking all about the Carolina Hurricanes, taking a look at their offseason ahead, draft picks and management, free agents, forward, defenseman, and goaltending depth, as well as my offseason tasks for the Hurricanes for the offseason ahead. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let me know in the comments below what you think the Carolina Hurricanes should do this offseason. And this should be a pretty exciting offseason for the Hurricanes. They've put themselves in a very good position to add this offseason. And even if they wanted to add a younger player and go through the offer sheet way. If there's one of the top players that they wanted, they do have a lot of first-round picks. They added 2 first-round picks next year. Trading draft picks next year might not be the smartest choice, but Carolina has options heading into this offseason and obviously next offseason. Taking a look at draft picks and management, Eric Tulsky, general manager, and Rod Brindamore, head coach of this Hurricanes team. They have their first round pick this year. They also have their 4th, 6th, and 7th round picks. And they have Tampa's 3rd rounder and Tampa's 6th rounder. No 2nd round pick, no 5th round pick for this Hurricanes team this season. And a team that obviously is lost in the conference finals last year. Really struggled in that conference finals. We'll look to get past, obviously, and get to the Stanley Cup this year. But a team that's definitely not far away with making the conference finals in recent years. They might just be that one player away, 1 or 2 players away from getting themselves back to the Stanley Cup this year. Taking a look at free agents, the Hurricanes have 5 UFAs heading to free agency and $28 million in cap space. So this Hurricanes team can go and offer whatever they want to whoever they want and try to put this team in the best position to win the Stanley Cup. So you have a team that went to the conference finals last year, and now they've got $28 million in cap space, and they aren't losing any star players here in this offseason. The guys that are losing are Brent Burns, Dmitry Orlov. First of all, they do have the opportunity to bring them back, but also guys that are older, past their prime. Tyson Jost, I didn't even remember that he was in this organization. So that should tell you all that you need to know there. Eric Robinson and then Jack Roslovic, who teams will be looking to acquire here this offseason. Taking a look at the forward depth chart for this Hurricanes team, Andrei Svechnikov, Sebastian Aho, and Seth Jarvis, Taylor Hall, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and Jackson Blake, Jordan Martinook, Jordan Stahl, and Logan Stankoven, and then Skylar Brindamore, yes, son of Coach Rod Brindamore, Mark Jankowski, and William Carrier, as well as Bradley Nadeau and Justin Robidas. So when I look at this Hurricanes forward group, I like it. I like that top line with Svechnikov, Aho, and Jarvis, Taylor Hall, Kotkaniemi, and Jackson Blake, a young up-and-coming player who had a great first season last year. Martinook definitely contributes in the offense at times. A really good third-line player, Jordan Stahl, still a great leader for this team. And Logan Stankoven, who obviously came over in that Rantanen deal, as well as some picks. So, and then you've got the 4th line, which I don't expect to be the 4th line on opening night, just with the cap space that the Hurricanes have. I do expect them to add to the forward group. You might see a guy like maybe Skylar Brindamore down in the AHL, or maybe more of a press box type player. But his dad is the head coach, so you never know. He might get some opportunity here in the lineup. Really, obviously, it's kind of out there that the Hurricanes should go after Mitch Marner, and I agree with the cap space you have available, adding a guy like Mitch Marner to this offense would just take it to that next level. And the Hurricanes are a team that Mitch Marner should definitely have very near the top of his list, if not at the top of his list. They're a team, as I said, that has been a playoff contender, that has continued to make the playoffs. Yes, they've struggled in the conference finals, but some teams, like my Minnesota Wild, haven't been to the conference finals since 2003. So going to the conference finals and losing is nothing to be too upset about, because a lot of teams don't even make it to the conference finals. Ask the Buffalo Sabres when the last time they even made the playoffs were. So this Hurricanes team is in a great position, and adding a guy like Mitch Marner to this offense would make it extremely scary, because then you're moving guys down the lineup, and really that second line, I think, has a little bit of question marks maybe. So that's where you could, by putting Mitch Marner here, you get to move Svechnikov or Jarvis down, which immediately strengthens that second line and just gives you depth. Injuries happen, gives you some extra depth here in this forward group. And then Mitch, as I said, Mitch Marner should consider. Obviously, he wants to win. Hurricanes can give him the money. And adding Mitch Marner to this lineup would definitely put them in a position to win. So Mitch Marner, I think, would be a great addition. Other players here, I think that would Brad Marchand, I think, would give them some veteran presence here in Carolina. Nikolai Ehlers, of course, a great player when he's healthy. Jonathan Drouin, again, when he's healthy. 37 points, 43 games last year. So a pretty darn good season for only playing around half the season. So some guys available here. Center depth, I don't know if the Hurricanes add a center. I could see Kotkaniemi moving down. Jordan Staal, I think, is a good third line center. So I don't know if maybe the Hurricanes would consider a trade with Kotkaniemi if they are going to bring somebody else in, or maybe they like Kotkaniemi. That's fine too. Maybe move him to the wing. There's different things you could do there. So some guys here available when it comes to the centers. But yeah, adding Mitch Marner, I think, is the number one priority. If you do miss out on a guy like Marner, adding a guy like Besser or a guy like Patrick Kane, I think would improve this offense as well. Patrick Kane maybe just for the short term, but Brock Besser wouldn't be a horrible addition. Obviously, he had half the points that Mitch Marner had last year, so definitely a downgrade for Mitch Marner, but there is only one Mitch Marner, and only one team is going to get to sign him. But the Carolina Hurricanes should definitely put in an offer with the situation that they're in. RFAs, if they do miss out on Mitch Marner, they still want to add to this team, you can do it by trade. If you're looking at the forward group, there are forwards available. There are RFAs here still not signed. A guy like Marco Rossi from Minnesota would be a good addition to this team. You could look at some guys in the wing, like Will Cooley from the Rangers, or Gabriel Velarde would be a good addition as well, if you could get him from the Winnipeg Jets. So there are players available here in the RFAs if the Canes did want to go that route. Taking a look at defensemen for the Carolina Hurricanes defensive depth. Jacob Slavin and Jalen Chatfield on that top pair. Shane Gostisbehere and Sean Walker. Second pair, Alexander Nikishin and Scott Morrow. On that third pair, obviously some youth there. And then Ty Smith as kind of an extra defenseman. And I think it would be smart to bring a guy like Brent Burns back because then you can give a guy like maybe Scott Morrow could maybe come out and maybe he could play sometimes. I don't know if you really want to have two young players, obviously, on that third pair. I think it would be good to add another depth defenseman. You could add a guy like Brent Burns, who's been here, who would be a great mentor, I think, for Nikishin. on that third D pair. So, as I said, Brent Burns looking at re-signing him, or maybe the Hurricanes say, hey, we want to add a top 4 guy and move one of our other guys down. Maybe we'll sign Aaron Ekblad. And maybe the Canes go out and they sign Aaron Ekblad and they sign Mitch Marner. And then really this team would be everyone's Stanley Cup pick next year if they went and did that, if they added 2 guys like that. So the Hurricanes, they have the cap space. They can go and they can add 2 big name players like that, which would drastically help a team that's already a Stanley Cup contender. Looking at goaltenders, Frederik Andersen, the starter, Pyotr Kochetkov, the backup. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think it might be time to give Pyotr Kochetkov the starting job. Frederik Andersen, of course, health issues. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But the Hurricanes' goaltending has been question mark year after year after year. And they just haven't done anything about it. So, yes, maybe I think they need to shore up the goaltending a little bit somehow here. But they haven't agreed with me on that. So maybe they roll out with these 2 guys once again. I think Pyotr Kochetkov, I think it's time. I think it's time for him to be given the starting position. Other UFA goaltenders, there's guys available. In my opinion, if they are going to go and get a goalie, I think they would be better off getting one by trade if they wanted to go that route, if they did want to add a goalie. But there are guys available. I'm just not sure if I'm just not sure who the Hurricanes would go after if they did want to change the goaltending here. And that brings us to offseason tasks. Number 1, offer Mitch Marner a 7-year deal. You can't offer him an 8-year deal. The most you can offer him is 7 years. Give him 7 years. Offer him a good enough contract number where he's going to really consider it. This Hurricanes team, a very good team. So Mitch Marner should consider that as well. Yes, there might be some other teams that might offer a little bit more money than Carolina, but Mitch Marner would be smart to watch this preview show and kind of take a look at the depth that this Carolina team has, the cap space they have available, and just think, okay, a team that just made the conference finals, they add me, maybe they add another forward, maybe they add a defenseman as well, and this is a pretty stacked team from top to bottom. So Marner should really give them some consideration here. Look to add another top 6 forward. I think if you do miss out on Marner, you definitely want to add a top 6 forward. Maybe you get Mitch Marner and you still add a top 6 forward as well, either by trade, and maybe you could figure out a trade there. And then shore up defensive depth. Maybe you re-sign Brent Burns 1 more year. Maybe bring in another defenseman. Just shore up the defensive depth so that you're not relying on 2 young guys on your bottom pair all the year. And then injuries happen. So you want to be prepared. Especially if you're a team with Stanley Cup aspirations, you want to be prepared when injuries occur, because they do occur. And that's the Carolina Hurricanes offseason preview. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think this Hurricanes team should do this offseason? Should they add Mitch Marner? What other moves should they make? And hit the like button if you guys enjoyed the show. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And we will see you guys on the next offseason preview show, which won't be for a few days. The next show, obviously, the next 2 shows will be Edmonton and Florida. And I will get to those once their playoff series is over, because I'm not going to talk about them their next season, their off season, when they're still playing. So we'll wait till the Stanley Cup finals over, and then we'll get to the final 2 off-season preview shows. Stay tuned to the channel. I have more exciting content in the works. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next shows. Thanks for watching, guys.